It's Kristen. So yes, today we're going to be talking about Uncanny X-Men 14, which I just got this yesterday. So yes, I know I'm behind. Ironically, though, I also yesterday just got these two variant covers I ordered just because this one is by an artist I really like. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I have a row cover by him, from Uncanny X-Men variant cover. A Nightcrawler cover, Gambit, so a couple covers. I just like how he does the close up face in the background and then the character. So this is Lady Henrietta, which we met in Uncanny X-Men 13, the last issue. And then this, I mean, of course it's X-Men 97, but I just thought this was sweet. I mean, it has, obviously, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, really. It's a variant cover. It's not necessarily meant to, but I thought it was a sweet cover. And it says, "For my share, Remy the heart," and it says, March of 97, because that's when X-Men 97 started, was in March. And this was before, all the craziness happened. So, like I said, I just thought it was a cute cover. And then this cover, I just really like this artist and I love how he does his covers. So, yeah, ironic that these two would come on the same day that my subscription for Marvel would come. So, anyway, but now that means we can finally talk about it. And when we last left in Uncanny X-Men 13, we saw Man Thing. So here we are. Henrietta is at the train station waiting on her ride, and George introduces himself, and she's like, "Oh, well, I don't know you," and he gives her the secret symbol that's in his hat to let her know that he she's safe with his kind. And then we have Agent Miller, who is a so-called Sentinel of Purity, and his right-hand man Andrew, and they're following them. And they said, and Agent Miller says, if you see anything unusual happen, just shoot them both. And so, and we know that Henrietta is taking her mother, you know, to Haven. So here we go back to the kids in the artery in Man Thing, and a Death Dream reminds them, don't be afraid. Man Thing won't hurt you unless he smells fear, then he'll melt your face off. But don't be afraid. He's like a big puppy. And then all of a sudden he has a bone, he has a femur, and he's like, here you go, puppy. Here you go. Here's a bone. Go get it. And the kids are like, where'd he get a bone from? And it's like, this is a graveyard. Who said that? Oh yeah, of course, Ransom said that we're in a graveyard. That's how he found that. So basically, he's Death Dream saying in the room beyond, this door that Man Thing is guarding, there's someone that can answer all of our questions. You just have to tell him how you became a mutant, um, and in order to go through. And so the kids go through their spiels. Ransom, he absorbs energy, uses it. The stronger he hits, stronger he becomes. Mostly uses it in his fist. Chitter, for 1 minute, she can become the best at anything, like any skill, any talent. Death Dream, he goes in between the living and the dead. He compels the dead to do his bidding. uh, Calico says she has a special bond with her horse Ember. She can conjure up any power that they need. And so, okay, so this is the shocking part. Like Ember has been my favorite character. Like of this, of the introduction of the Outliers, my favorite character. And here we learn the shocking secret. So, Man Thing will let Ember pass, and she's like, I don't understand. I told him my secret, and Death Dream's like, you have to tell him Ember, or you have to tell him Calico. And she's like, what do you mean? So she says that Ember isn't even a real horse. Her real horse, Ember, her best friend, died in the fire. She's like, I don't know what that thing is outside. And Ransom's like, Deathstream, did you know? Because of course he, can sense the dead and the living. And he said, well, I knew, but I didn't know what to tell her. I mean, I knew it would just make her sad. So then Man Thing lets, Calico pass. Oh man, that sucks. So since Ember is not real, not a real horse, not alive, does that mean he's gonna not be in the series anymore? Like I said, he was my favorite character. So that makes me sad. Oh, yeah, that makes me really sad. So, and then there's a voice that, calls to them, says, "Hello, children, come inside and get your answers. Oh, and children, now you can be afraid." I'm like, well, why would you tell children that? That's just wrong. Oh yeah, so we have Gambit and the Ice Drake, and the Ice Drake, he took him to the Savage Land. He's eating a dinosaur, and the Ice Drake, whose name I forget how to pronounce, is like, "Why aren't you afraid of me?" Or why aren't you like wincing or whatever? And Gambit says, "All my life, people have been afraid of me because of the color of my eyes, the way they are. So I don't want to, you know, do that to anyone else. I don't want anyone else to feel ashamed for being different just because, that's the way they are." And they discuss the Eye of Agamotto again. And he's like, "Are you going to give it back to me? Because if you don't, you'll become like me. You'll become a cannibal and eat your friends and all that stuff." And Gambit says, I think I'm going to keep it for now. I think it's hard for someone like me to give up jewelry. So they take them back, or he takes them back to Haven, and he Gambit says, "So, since we're being all chummy, are you gonna tell me about the Endling?" And the Ice Drake says, "I sense, you know, it has female energy." And when I read that, I thought, well, could it be Lady like Henrietta? Could that be, who the could that be who the Endling is? Could that be who they're talking about? Because she's not technically in like Haven House, but she's, kind of a part of it. So it's possible it could be her instead of one of the girls, or Chelsea, Marcus's daughter. Anyway, just a guess. I don't know. Obviously, I was wrong about Ember. Didn't see that coming. So, yeah. So Rogue sees, that basically thinks that the Ice Drake has kidnapped Gambit, and she's like, "Keep your damn claws off my husband." And I love that she's wearing a basically what is a throwback to her one of her 80s costumes. And I have this so you can see it. See? I mean, doesn't that look like it? It looks like it to me. So I think that's fun that they referenced. Let me see if I can do them side by side. Yeah, see? Looks like it to me. I think it's fun that they referenced one of her old costumes. So, um, and Gambit talks about how Rogue has a temper, and for 1 week out of the month, he's like even super, you know, quieter around her. Obviously, he's referring to her monthly, her period. Because yeah, it's no fun, not at all. I remember watching this video of this device that's meant to simulate like period cramps, period pain, and they put it on guys, and guys are like, "Oh, oh, ow, oh, what is that? Oh my gosh." So anyway, it's not just like, "Oh, it's no big deal." It does. It's a pain. It hurts. It's no fun for anyone. Us and the people around us. So anyway, she's fighting the ice drake, and Yeah. Which is a cool image. I love this image of her basically coming towards us. Like that's really cool. And she calls him bring him she calls him Frosty and says, "Bring it on, Frosty. Let's see what you got." And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna wish you hadn't said that." And Nightcrawler and Jubilee come out of the house and they're like, "Are we being attacked?" And Jubilee's like, "Am I having a Game of Thrones dream?" And then Clunk, there's Rogue. She's encased in ice. Um, like he kind of warned her, but I mean it's Rogue. She'll survive. And the Ice Drake's like, "Yeah, she'll survive. Probably, maybe. Yeah, she will. It'll be fine." And Jubilee's like, "You remind me of someone," and she's thinking about her son, the dragon, that that turned into complicated. I think I've talked about that as one of the weirder plot points in X-Men involving Jubilee anyway. And the Ice Drake's like, "Yeah, he misses you. You should go see him." And Nightcrawler is like, I haven't a clue of what's going on. Is this about the beer? Because of course they're having that debate about German beer being the best, and then but Gambit had that special Louisiana brew, like local brew that he thought was way better. So they've been arguing about that. So, you know, Gambit's like, "Well, do you guys know how to defrost my wife?" And Wolverine's like, "I got it." And Marcus is like, "Goodness gracious, what can you guys not like put on clothes before you fight battles in the front yard?" It's a running joke apparently, because like one issue, um, basically Rogue came out in what looks like just Gambit's shirt, and then Gambit, of course, the Ice Drake took him off just wearing basically boxers. And then Wolverine comes out of the house in boxers, and Jubilee, it looks like she's just in like a big t-shirt also, and Nightcrawler just has pants on. Anyway, so apparently it's been a running joke online about that. So back to Henrietta. So they stop the truck because they see all these kids crossing the road, and they're like, she's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Those are all the kids. They're bound to take a train to the city because they're going to be adopted." And she's like, "Are their parents dead?" And he's like, "No, they're just poor. They came from the Dust Bowl." So if they're talking about the Dust Bowl, I mean, I feel like this is the like 1920s, 1930s, the Great Depression, and that area was hit the hardest. So I feel like that's maybe where we are. Not positive, but maybe 1890s to somewhere in there. I don't know. Oh no. I know it's at least, yeah, so it's before the Great Depression. It's at least 1911 because that's when the all the railroads combine. So thank you, Gail, for putting that in there so that we have a better understanding of where we are in time. So yeah, it's before the Great Depression. But the Dust Bowl, yeah, is an area that hits the hardest by the Great Depression. So they go and they travel along the road for about 2 hours. And, you know, um, well, Henrietta, looking at the kids, she's like, "We're all, herself included, just trying to find a place where we belong." And so they're going along the road 2 hours, and then they get to the end of the road, like the end of the paved road. And so they have to go the rest of the way on foot. And so that's when Agent Miller and Andrew get out of the car and say, "This is the end of the line. You're right about that." And George jumps in front of Henrietta, and Andrew shoots him. And Agent Miller's like, "Well, I'm sorry that had to happen, but the boy was warned." And yeah, Henrietta is like, "Mr. Miller, I want to show you something. This is, why we're called abhorrence." And so she looks like she's made out of like some kind of rock, and then she has these two other kind of rock creatures, which I wouldn't have guessed that this is her power, which I would like an explanation as to her power. Are these like creatures that are kind of always with her, but not necessarily in sight? like Maggot and his two slugs? Or is this just she can conjure up these creatures like when she needs them? Anyway, I'm sure we'll get more information on her power because, yeah, I'm interested. So, obviously, of course, they're trying to fight these creatures with bullets, which does nothing, obviously. And then, so Andrew's dead, it seems like. I mean, yeah, pretty sure he's dead. And then, so she confronts Mr. Miller. She's like, "What are we going to do with you?" So, and the kids talk about how they've been drawn to this place and they're not sure why. They thought it was Sarah Gaunt who was calling to them this place, but it was really like Henrietta and the place itself because she's saying she's really tired and she's the guardian of this land because basically beyond the door is where people live that have caused the death of a mutant. So it's kind of like a place of torment. It's where they go because they did something bad, caused the death of a mutant. And she is the guardian to that door. And she's like, she's tired and she's wanting, basically, one of the kids are going to replace her. And the obvious choice is Death Dream. And Ransom is like, you can't have him. And she's like, it doesn't have to be him. It can be any of you. She's like, I am the guardian of the Preumbra, but you may call me Lady Henrietta. And this is the cover that, like I said, the variant cover that I got just because I thought it was so cool. See? I mean, not exactly all, anyway, but, the same, like, her, mutant costume, basically. Anyway, so that's where it ends. And then we have the artery, part three, is what's next, which oh, who knows? Who knows when I will get that comic book, considering I just got this one and then I randomly also got these on the same day. So yeah, who knows when I'll get 15. I can't remember if I ordered any variants of 15. So uh I might have, but I'm not positive. I can't, like I said, I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, I'm like I said, I was wrong about Ember, which makes me sad because Ember is my favorite character, which she's not even real. She's not even a character, so that makes me very sad. So I wonder if going forward, Ember will still be there, or if she'll just kind of be written out considering she's not real, or if they'll just keep her on because she's not real, but Calico, made her real. So I guess we'll see. That's another mystery that will have to be solved in the future. Um, and we'll also see where, oh, because of course, in this issue, I think I just accidentally skipped over the adults are like, so where are the kids? So I'm sure in the next issue, Marcus will tell them about where the kids are, that they're in the artery. And they'll probably, I'm sure, obviously go after them by the judging by the cover of the next issue. So, and I'll put, if you guys are interested in learning more about Man Thing, I'll put that video that I did on his like origin story in the description of this video, so that if you're interested in learning more about him as a character, then you can, yeah, you can view that video. So, I hope you will join me in the future for more videos. And like I said, I apologize for always being late on these, which it stinks because then I have to wait to read them and then I have to try to avoid spoilers, which are not easy. But anyway, so until next time, bye.